Hello and welcome to the RPG Blender, a week of lesser played games and forgotten settings, though roll the dice they deserve. I'm your host, Game Master George, and today we are going back to the bottom of the dice bag, where we take a look at some of the unreviewed games on DriveThruRPG. Getting an on-the-fly look at it, doing a little examination, and determining if it is an undiscovered gem or is worthy of being left at the bottom of the dice bag. So let's not delay things any further than we need to. Let's fire up our application. Now let's see what game we get. Be Heroes, Save Your Daylight, a 2 to 4 player RPG by Jennifer Adcock. Alright, let's see what it's like. Be Heroes, Save Your Daylight is a 2 to 4 player RPG about being a hero and saving your daylight from nebulous threats. Use ultra-violent light and heroic sacrifice to save your daylight for everybody's sake. Inspired by the classic viral video My Cousin Oskaar, which is a pure delight. 1 page long, $1. I like that cost. But what is My Cousin Oskaar?
You all be heroes! Save your daylight! Save it! Don't let it run away in front of your face!
Okay, so this is great. Alright, that just completely changed my day. That's wonderful. I can't wait to see what this game is like. Alright, Be Heroes, Save Your Daylight. Let's add it to cart and pick this game up. Little preview there for anybody watching of a future game that might be reviewed. Game acquired. Alright, Be Heroes, Save Your Daylight is a short role-playing game for 2 to 4 players inspired by the classic viral rant about daylight savings time seen in the video My Cousin Oskaar. Beautiful. 2 to 4 players, an analog watch or a clock, the kind you can wind manually to set the time. Huh. Well, I guess we can't play this game. Tokens or coins to represent ultraviolet light equal to the number of players times 2. So we'll say that we have a 2-player game going here, so we'll use 4 of these shiver dice as token, and a 6-sided die for each player. Player 1, player 2. How to play. First, set a watch to 12 o'clock. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, I may not have an actual clock, but I do have a chess clock. Go ahead and set this to 12 o'clock. Beautiful. Give each player a d6 and 2 ultra-violent light tokens. You are a team of heroes whose job it is to save the daylight. What is threatening the daylight and how you will save it is up to you. Each hour of daylight is precious and you must not let it run away in front of your face. The game consists of 12 turns, 1 for each hour of the watch. Each turn, 1 player will be the active hero. On the active hero's turn, the other players will describe a threat to the daylight. The challenge of this threat starts at 2, meaning that the active hero must roll 2 or better on their d6 to successfully save your daylight. The active hero will describe how they personally attempt to save that hour of daylight before rolling. At the end of their turn, tick down the watch 1 hour. Repeat for 11, with the next player being the active hero. You can sacrifice 1 point of ultraviolet light to change a roll from a failure to a success. Spent forever. No way to regain spent points. Once all ultraviolet light is spent, if you wish to change a failure to success, 1 player must be a hero, sacrificing themselves to save your daylight. That hero is no longer able to take turns. After the end of the final turn, figure out how many hours of daylight you saved. If you saved 10 to 12 hours of daylight, truly, you are heroes. You saved 7 to 9, you saved some daylight, but you'd better drink your Lisi next time. And if you saved 1 to 6 hours of daylight, you have let the daylight run away in front of your face. Alright, so the idea behind this is fairly funny. It's a clever little idea, but this isn't much of a game. And it is completely 100% solvable. The fact that you can spend your ultraviolet light tokens to automatically succeed means that at a minimum, you'll be able to succeed 2 times per player. And since you only need to succeed once in order to save an hour, that means that you can automatically save a number of hours equal to 2 times the number of players. Now, this is a 2 to 4 player game. That means that at a minimum, if you are running a 2-person game, you'll automatically be able to save 4 of your hours. All right, so you have 12 hours in the day. If we only manage to save 6 of the hours, we fail. Daylight is ruined. Oh well. If we manage to save 7 to 9 hours, we've saved some of the daylight, but not enough to actually save the daylight. And if we somehow manage to save 10 to 12 hours, we manage to completely save the daylight. So now here's the problem. We get 2 successes per player. So at a minimum, since this is a 2-player game, we're able to succeed at the first 4 hours. Except we do not actually only get 4 automatic successes. Those are just the automatic successes we get from our ultra-violent dice. We can also sacrifice ourselves to get 1 additional automatic success. That gives us 1 extra success, but since we're doing this at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we sacrifice our entire team because we're saving daylight for everybody, not just for our people. We're going to be the heroes, so we actually end up getting 3 automatic successes per player. So this means that when you have a 2-player game, you have automatically succeeded at 6 of these checks. So all you need to do is pass a single 1 in order to save at least some of the daylight and get the medium ending. Before we go further to show why the math isn't needed, let's talk about the math and why you really are unable to not at least get the medium success in this game. Hello, I am your Professor Game Master George. I hope that you can excuse the summer attire. As you know, our school can no longer afford air conditioning, though they certainly were able to afford new seats for the football stadium last year. Regardless, today we are here to take a look at the mathematics behind the game. Be heroes, save your daylight. I'm sorry, are you saying that this is a meme game and there is no need to actually study the mathematics behind it? Nonsense, math is life. In this game, we have a shifting success rate as you progress through the hours of the evening. This means that we cannot take a simple binomial distribution, as that relies on a consistent probability of success. However, we do have known odds for each hour, so there are a few ways we could approach this solution. The first and most accurate would be to calculate out every possible option. That is, every difference in the total number of successes, where those successes lie, how you fail. There are, however, 4,096 possible different outcomes from your 12 rolls. As such, it would be an overwhelming task to attempt to do that by hand. We then could instead use a Poisson binomial distribution. No, I do not know if I pronounced that name correctly. This would allow us a way to approximate the shifting percentages of success. However, as you can see from this formula, it is rather complex, and the school's slashed salaries means that I am not being paid enough to teach you that right now. Perhaps if more of you were subscribed to this university. Now, the third option would be to use a simple binomial distribution with the average probability of success. We can still achieve some rather accurate results even with this approximation. And if we compare this binomial average distribution to the actual calculated successes, we can see just how close it can get. While this may not suffice for a large, meaningful project, for a meme game, this should surely be a satisfactory margin of error. But not for our purposes. We care about math here, damn it! And if computers can quickly give us the actual answer, we'll have none of this approximation nonsense. Now, to the numbers. When we have 2 players, we will be rolling until we receive the required number of successes. If we fail a roll, we will use one of our automatic successes to change it to a failure. We will continue that process until we reach our final automatic success, the one that will sacrifice our final party member. We will save their sacrifice for the final roll. This will give us the largest possible number of rolls to try to achieve the desired number of successes. With 2 players, we have a total of 6 successes, assuming we are willing to make everybody into a hero. That means in order to get a partial victory, we need only 1 rolled success. The odds of us getting just 1 rolled success in all 12 of our rolls is 99.995%. So, laughably high. Now, what if we want to try to go for that full success and save all of our daylight? Well, then we need 4 successes. And the chances of us getting 4 successes is 95.57, not much lower. And there we have it. We can now see that our chances of success are ridiculously high. I fail to see how anyone could actually fail this game. Thank you for joining me for Game Math. Thank you for the math lesson. With all of that in mind, even with those fantastic odds of guaranteeing yourself the medium ending, even with only 2 players, when you have more players, you invalidate the entire game. This is giving you 3 successes per player. With only 2 players, that's 6 successes. So once we add in a 3rd player, all of a sudden, we've filled up all the boxes that we need to need only 1 naturally rolled success. in order to actually get the good ending. So what are the odds of getting the good ending with 3 players? Oh, wait, are we doing this again? Oh, well, with 3 people, the answer hasn't really changed, it's just shifted. With 3 people, we no longer have to worry about a partial success, as we now have a guaranteed 9 successes, meaning we only have to roll 1 success to get the total victory. And as before, the odds of getting 1 rolled success is 99.995%. Are we done here? Pretty good, right? But now this game also allows you to get up to 4 people playing this game. And with 4 people, we now have, through the use of sacrifice, a total of 12 possible automatic successes. So tell me, Mr. Math, what are the odds of us getting the good ending if we have 4 players? Oh my god, I tell you, I know there are not supposed to be any stupid questions, but some of these things that come at... What? I'm sorry, you wanted me to calculate the... No! No, it's 100%! You don't need any damn calculations for that! That is an idiotic question! I will not get out of my office now! Well, as I have just been reminded, whose father is the largest donator to our university, let us tackle a slightly more intriguing question. What are the odds of managing to save your friends when you have all 4? If we are trying to save 4 of our friends, we get 8 automatic successes. That means we need 2 in order to save our daylight, without making any of them a hero. The odds of getting those 2 rolled successes is 99.9%. Now, if we are willing to sacrifice 1 of our friends, we only need 1 rolled success, giving us once again that 99.995% chance. And if we just want to make sure that 2 of our friends survive, we do not actually need any rolled successes, as that brings us to the total of 10. That means that unless you are particularly bloodthirsty and willing to sacrifice your friends for no reason, we would need to roll no successes on all 12 of our rolls. There is only a 0.005% chance of ending up with a result of 2 sacrificed friends. And to get 1 or 0 is actually impossible. There is no way that you could do that unless you are actively choosing to get rid of your friends, in which case, please leave my office. Are we finally done? Can I go home now? It is very hot. Fascinating stuff. So, what does this mean? I do think that this is an interesting idea and could lead to some very interesting post-apocalyptic saving the light little scenes. So unfortunately, this game is severely lacking in the game aspect, but does have potential on the roleplay side. That said, in order to be a good role-playing game, it needs to succeed on both ends. It can't just exist as a joke. Tying the number of ultra-violent dice you get to the number of players breaks this system irreparably. If you want to be able to make this game actually have some risk to it, you should have, instead of a pool per person, a group pool. And the pool plus the number of players should never exceed 5. So with a group of 2 players, you should have 3 ultraviolent dice shared. With a group of 3 players, you should have 2 ultraviolent dice. And with a group of 4, you should only get 1 ultraviolent dice. This gives you the possibility of only 5 automatic successes, meaning you need to succeed on at least 2 of the rolls in order to actually get the medium ending, which in my opinion leads to better roleplay, a better game experience, though it's still not a very deep game. But by making that little change to using pooled dice and reducing the number by the amount of players instead of increasing them, you can at least add a little bit of gameplay to it. As it stands, I would give this a 4. It's a meme game. You're not expecting to get a good game out of this, just a laugh, and maybe 30 minutes of entertainment. Is it worth the $1? Being perfectly honest, spending $1 to support a game developer isn't a bad thing, even if the game is only mediocre. Anyway, that wraps it up for now. Thank you people for joining. I'm quite enjoying spending some time doing these little mini on-the-fly reviews. I'm seeing some interesting stuff here. If you have a game that you'd like reviewed, send it over. You can reach out to me at rpgblender@gmail.com, and I'd be happy to take a look at your game. I can't guarantee a video review of everybody, but if you are somebody who has published games before and never gotten a review, let me know. I'm not opposed to getting rid of the randomization aspect of this and actually taking a look at a game that somebody has picked out. And thank you, as always, to our patrons and channel members. No, as of recording this, there are no channel members, but maybe one day? If you'd like to support the channel, help us afford these extremely expensive games, perhaps join our Patreon, channel membership, or just give a super thanks. One person thanks worth $1. Hey, I didn't lose $1 on this video. Anyway, that wraps it up for now. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, there's gaming outside the Forgotten Realms.